think something should always be said to the parent, and to your point, Pamela. I think that administrators, and as a whole, I think administrators, most of them are doing the best they can with the resources that they have. Mm-hmm. Those ones that are few and far between, who don't have those great managerial skills, that have maybe been put in a situation where they have school systems that are so large that they don't have the resources put in place to curtail some of this activity. But when it comes to a threat, whether you feel like a student means it in a deliberate way or not, there's something that's causing that child to think that way. Mm-hmm. It's always appropriate, in my opinion, to bring that to the light of the parent and also to any administrators and teachers that are involved with that child, because those type things can be easily overlooked, and then those are the students that continue to either pull back when they're bullied, something more severe happens, and then they feel like they don't have the voice to speak up. So I think that when you do that, you allow them to let them know that someone cares. And that's what we're saying here at Advice, that we all care about education, and we care about you as a person as well. And so we want you to be able to be in a learning environment where you're not bullied and you're not intimidated. And so that when you get out into the world and you get out into the workforce, that you don't become that person that's antagonizing or bullying someone else.
I'd also like to kind of make a point in here, and we're seeing a lot of school shootings. We have certainly seen many, 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 many school shootings within the last 15 years. Unfortunately, it's a part of our reality now. And so I wonder if, in the case of the student you're talking about, and the case in general, is students are absorbing that information. They see the SWAT teams, they see the tape around the school, they see all this activity on the news, and so it's become normalized in some way.
Yeah, it feels like it has.
Yes. Well, Sandra, had you seen any of that, or?
I've heard about a lot of the shootings and things of that nature, and like you said, it does seem like it's becoming just a normalized thing. As a matter of fact, some schools are even teaching and having drills for how to behave and what to do if a school shooting takes place, and that's just something you didn't even really hear about just even a few decades ago.
Right.
Now they're actually preparing for these sort of things, and it really saddens me that it's gotten so out of hand. And I used to wonder, why do they always seem to target the schools? When people like that are having whatever mental things going on inside of them, why the schools? And someone, I had a discussion with someone, and I also did some digging on my own, and they say oftentimes they want to go where they feel like they can make the greatest impact, and because schools nowadays are so anti, weaponry, appropriate entity like a security guard or what have you, they know that it's a sitting duck, it's an easy target.
Right.
So it's really sad that it's a truth now, and it's becoming more and more common, seemingly.
Yeah, this Pamela, I actually feel that, all these homeless veterans that we have that come back, or even those that aren't homeless but maybe have other issues. And I think there's no one better to be guarding our schools. You would think that our government would catch on to that and give them a salary to go protect our schools and churches and so forth, and give them jobs to do that. They're trained highly trained individuals. Why not? Again, it comes back to whoever's overseeing these types of things. They're not using all of the things that would be available to them. And unlike a nonprofit where, we're all volunteers, but in a school setting, again, I know that one teacher that was on a waiting list for a whole year. Well, if there's one, there's more than one.
Right.
So why aren't these talents being brought into the school? Why are they being overlooked? And then why is, the politicians that are making these laws, why haven't, I don't know of any law that somebody has brought this up already, or any bill, but it's just a bit odd to me that, that happens, or doesn't happen the way that it should.
Yeah.
I think, Pamela, it's just a matter of a lot of different things. Policy has not caught up with the way that the pace that our culture is moving. And policy is definitely something that needs to be addressed. And how can we utilize the resources that we have and skill the people that we have in society in order to alleviate some of these problems that we're having?
So, guys,
school would ask for help.
Yeah.
Actually say,
Yeah.
For the community, unlike a nonprofit, it's harder for us to maybe get volunteers sometimes, even though we've kind of mastered that over the years. But it's still like, if a school says, hey, I need help, boy, usually they get help real quick. But it's just hard to understand sometimes.
So I'm going to sneak in a commercial here. And we will be back. We have a wonderful discussion going on here, lots of information. We'll meet you back at the end of this break here.
Right now, you might be struggling through your classes or even failing them. You might be worried that you may not finish high school. There might have even been a thought that you may not be smart enough. Well, the New Heights Educational Group begs to differ. We not only think you are smart enough, but with our help, you will complete your high school diploma. The New Heights Educational Group strives to improve your academic success through its tutoring services. To learn more, please visit newheightseducation.org and contact us. New Heights Educational Group, educational resources to help reach your goals.
Welcome back to the New Heights Show on education. This is our roundtable on school bullying. So I wanted to ask everyone in the roundtable, now we're seeing, at least it's certainly new since I went to school, the advent of cyberbullying since the internet became a major player in everybody's life. And I always found that interesting in a disturbing way, in that you used to be able to walk away from the school building and more or less take a break. If you were the one being bullied, you could go home and not have to deal with that. With the advent of cyberbullying, the bullying never stops. It never is left at the school door. And what do you guys think about that? And what are some
This is Pamela.
Sure.
I witnessed this as well. From parents that even will send in, like they'll save it, they'll send it in. I have a lot of documents with that kind of thing that happened on Facebook specifically. And it is really damaging. And these kids that never get the break, it is not uncommon that they want to kill themselves.
Mm-hmm.
I hate to say that, but some of them have. It does lead to that. But see, I see a connect between a lot of things I think maybe people don't think about in general. I think personally, I was bullied as a young girl in school, but I didn't really let it get to me, I guess. But it wasn't 24/7. Like you said, I could go home and but I really didn't care.
Mm-hmm.
I had to disconnect from it. I didn't care what other people thought in general. I was like, whatever. So, but with that being said, I do see now, from me being that young girl to now, if I would have known who I was or would have had some kind of identifier of my gifts and my strengths and things, or if I felt a tie to my community or whatever it is. I always try to tell kids, and I mean it, I don't just say it. Kids can tell if you're bullcrap. I try to tell, oh, you're so talented in this. You're such a wonderful artist. You're so this, you're so that. And, oh my gosh, is this running your family? Like, see a connect between family history, and sometimes kids are from rough backgrounds, and I was as well. But if I would have known what was beyond myself and my household, and if I knew the things I knew now, I would have probably been a much different person. But if children are at home and they're being uplifted and they're being like praised and and taught how to treat other people, and to know that, you have to be secure in yourself. But these kids are not being taught about their gifts, their strengths, themselves as a member of society, and what they can give to people in a positive way through their actions. And I see, like, I love genealogy, and that's why New Heights must have a genealogy program, is because if they see they're from something beyond their current circumstances, they're going to want to help the world. And they're also going to have pride in who they are, because who they are is much bigger than they think. So these kids that want to hurt themselves, in general, they don't have any of that. They're not getting a break. And then there's a flip side of that, where some of the parents make excuses for their kids bullying others. They'll say, "Oh, they're just big babies, and they need to toughen up. This has been going on forever."
Yeah.
No, it really hasn't.
Because good points, family. Yeah. This is Buffy. And I think that as far as cyberbullying is concerned, schools have kind of caught up with the times with that. And at least if they are being bullied online, off campus, and it directly affects their learning or disrupts their learning or their schoolwork in some way, that the students can be disciplined. So that is a positive thing that has come from that. Students do deal with, the low self-esteem, like you said, Pamela, of them not being nurtured in the family environment or in the community environment, and then everyone kind of doing a hands-off kind of approach rather than students and letting them know what type of value they add to society and how they contribute and how much we're all enriched by them being their individual selves, and it makes our lives and our schools so much, in our world, so much better. Just being who they are, and that's what makes them beautiful. And
very good.
We do need to enforce that more. Thank you.
Wow, good. Oh, you said that much better than I did.
Yeah, it was great, Buffy. So,
great point.
So,
what do you think, Lysandra?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like Buffy was saying, we do want to just have more awareness in our school system, and just try to make sure that we can kind of revert back, or not revert back, but just get back to a point where things were before. Because like I said, years and years ago, you just didn't have these kinds of issues going on. And now it does seem like things are just kind of getting, everybody's pushing the envelope of bullying. Like you were saying, Erika, a lot of times folks will say things like, "Oh, but it's just," or was it Pamela? I'm so sorry, but you were saying something about how folks are going, "Oh, it's okay, it's people will be people," or it teaches them to toughen up. And there are still some people who say that today, not as much maybe, but it's just like, really, we need to get past this. Kids that it's okay on some level isn't going to make that change happen any faster.
Well, actually, speaking of that, New Heights recently had created a group on Facebook called Ohio Abuse, Bullying, and Public School Support Group. And I had done it because of what I had personally witnessed and advocated for these families, and I wanted to empower them to tell their stories so that I wouldn't. I want them to be empowered and say, "Hey, I have a voice. I can say this." Well, when I posted that, the very first comment on the page was from a parent